Arizona Senate candidate Kari Lake said something at a recent rally that was disturbing, shocking, maybe not surprising given the violent rhetoric we're hearing from her ilk all too often. So I'll show that clip to you. Then we'll get to an ad that was put out slamming Kari Lake, Donald Trump for what's going on in Arizona with the stripping away of rights. And then we'll discuss something really important on that subject. So let's start with this, the reporting, then the video of her saying this. Forbes reports, Republican Senate candidate Kari Lake said at a rally Sunday, her supporters should quote unquote strap on a Glock to prepare for the upcoming 6 months before the 2024 election, which she said will be intense and difficult, marking the candidate's latest controversial comments involving guns. So don't even, if you're MAGA, don't even try to sugarcoat this or cover for her. Just admit what she's saying and then decide if you want to defend that or not. Because what she's saying is the next few months will be divisive, will be nerve-wracking for either side, given that a lot is on the line in the minds of either side, even though one side's correct about what's on the line. And then the justified action just may be violence. That's what she's saying. Why would you have to strap on a Glock for political reasons other than to use that Glock for violent reasons against your political opposition? That's what she's saying. We don't have to do this weird sugarcoating of these sorts of subjects. So with that being said, here is what she had to say at this rally.
And an amazing man decided he was an outsider and he had the greatest world that you could ever imagine, properties around the globe, an incredible family, an incredible business. He didn't need any of the garbage that was thrown at him, and he decided that he was going to jump into politics. I think you know who I'm talking about, Donald J. Trump. Do you know that name? He's willing to continue to fight for us, and I will tell you, the next 6 months are going to be difficult. If you are not ready for action, and I have a feeling with as many veterans and former law enforcement, active law enforcement, raise your hand if you're a veteran, former law enforcement, or active law enforcement. All right, I don't even need to tell you guys this. I don't need to tell you to buckle up. It's going to be difficult. You guys are ready for it.
I'm going to really quickly pause your viewing of this video to ask you to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Just click that subscribe button plus the like button as well and the alert bell so you get notifications. Back to it.
I need to say this in other parts of the state, but it's going to be a crazy run the next 6 months. This is the moment we have to save our country. He's willing to sacrifice everything. I am. That's why they're coming after us with lawfare. They're going to come after us with everything. That's why the next 6 months is going to be intense. And we need to strap on our, let's see, what do we want to strap on? We're going to strap on our seatbelt. We're going to put on our helmet or your Kari Lake ball cap. We are going to put on the armor of God. And maybe strap on a Glock on the side of us just in case. You can put one here and one in the back or one in the front, whatever you guys decide. Because we're not going to be the victims of crime. We're not going to have our Second Amendment taken away. We're certainly not going to have our First Amendment taken away by these tyrants. So I just want to thank you, Mojave County. I support you 100%.
Now, just to contextualize this, The Guardian reports that 1 in 3 Republicans believe, according to polling, that, quote, true American patriots, end quote, may have to resort to violence to save the country, compared with 22% of independents and 13% of Democrats, all representing increases since 2021. Almost 1 in 3 white evangelical Protestants believe that patriots may have to resort to political violence to save the country, markedly higher than any other religious group. Support for political violence jumps to even higher levels among Americans who believe that the 2020 election was stolen for Donald Trump. 46% of election deniers believe that violence may be necessary to, quote, save the country. And then it outlines other specifics there. So this is extremely dangerous. It is disturbing that this is the moment we're in American politics. And we've seen this from Kari Lake. She just performs how she thinks will rile up her base the most. She's playing a character and she's trying to MAGA her way into another election. And I don't think it's going to work. Hopefully it won't work. but damage can be done still. And we are hearing Trump escalate his rhetoric. We've seen how his escalatory rhetoric can cause real world violence. And we're seeing Kari Lake and other MAGA figures do the same. And again, with the track record of, for example, January 6th, and seeing how directly Trump's words, these sorts of lies can lead to violence, it is frightening going into this election, knowing that that's the type of rhetoric that's being spread. But we have to stand proudly and say that we're not for violence, that we're going to win democratically and we're going to win peacefully. And that's what this movement should represent. That's what we, the group I consider myself a part of, pro-democracy people, that's what we should be saying loud and proud in the face of horrific rhetoric like that. Again, her saying strap on a Glock to prepare for the election. Vile. Now, that's not the only thing I want to talk about in this segment. Here's an ad the Lincoln Project put out directed at Kari Lake and Donald Trump on the subject of abortion rights and their lies recently. They're trying to backtrack on their past record given the unpopularity of their stance.
Kari Lake and Donald Trump. At first, they admitted they wanted a national abortion ban.
I don't think abortion pills should be legal.
There has to be some form of punishment.
For the woman?
Yeah, there has to be some form.
Now, they're pretending they won't back the ban if they're elected. They're lying.
This total ban on abortion is out of line with where the people of this state are.
Did Arizona go too far?
Yeah, they did, and that'll be straightened out.
I agree with President Trump. This is such a personal and private issue.
Two frauds desperately running from the truth and from their real position. She backed the ban, and he's still bragging about ending Roe.
That I was able to terminate Roe v. Wade, and I'm proud to have done it. I was so honored to have done it.
They'll ban all abortion, even to save a mother's life. They'll end IVF, and they'll ban birth control. Donald Trump and Kari Lake, they're the same. They're dishonest, deceptive, and dangerous for every woman.
Yeah, and so the desperation from them on this issue is very clear, very noticeable, as we've been talking about, given the backtracking. And as I've been saying, you can't advocate for something, get your way on it, and then ask people not to hold you accountable when they're upset about what you've advocated for. So, for example, in Arizona, the Arizona Supreme Court upholding this Civil War era law, the 1864 near total abortion ban with no exceptions for health, rape, incest. The only exception made is life of the mother. Just vicious, vicious law. And it was upheld by the Arizona Supreme Court. And so this is something Kari Lake has rooted on, wanting this law to be upheld and reinforced. And now she's saying, no, never mind, because she's seeing just how outraged people are. But again, this is the world that you and your movement have created, and so we're going to hold you accountable electorally. And on that, I do want to discuss, this is super, super important. In Arizona, Democrats are understandably frantically trying to undo what was done with this ruling. And of course, that ruling goes back to the overturning of Roe v. Wade and this even being something that's enabled. And that goes back to Trump getting the justices on the Supreme Court. So again, must be held accountable electorally. And Democrats are trying to repeal the law. And one of the defenses that we heard of the situation from the likes of Sean Hannity is, hey, no, don't worry so much. Don't punish Republicans for this Arizona devastating moment, because trust me, they're going to repeal this lickety split. Well, guess what? This video that I'm about to show is Republicans preventing even debate on a repeal of this 1864 near total abortion ban, which means that they can't repeal it because Republicans in the state legislature are blocking them from doing so. So because Republicans are preventing Democrats from righting this wrong, Democrats are working to figure out what the next plan could be, and that's a direct ballot initiative. And already 500,000 signatures have been gathered for this pro-abortion rights direct ballot initiative that would show up on the November ballot, which is really good. We've seen how successful reproductive freedoms have fared on direct ballot initiatives, but Republicans are also already getting to work on how they could defeat that measure. Here's some reporting from a local station. Republican lawmakers are considering options to defeat a citizens ballot initiative this fall that enshrines the right to abortion access in the state constitution. The strategy includes referring separate abortion measures to the ballot that could potentially split or dilute support for the Arizona Abortion Access Act, that more than 500,000 voters have signed. The details were revealed, and it's pretty crazy, in a PowerPoint presentation that was supposed to be circulated among Republicans only, but was accidentally sent to Democratic lawmakers. So just again, keep in mind the absurdity of the Republicans trying to help fellow Republicans electorally are out saying, no, don't exhibit backlash to Republicans for this Arizona law because it's going to get repealed. It's not actually going to be the law of the state for very long. And then it's Republicans actually fighting to keep this on the books. And then when it comes to a direct ballot initiative that could protect abortion rights, of course, they're fighting that too. Now, if you do want to support Arizona Democrats in their effort to push back against this extremism and specifically get this direct ballot initiative passed come November, then I will put a link in the description of this video if you're watching on YouTube, and for podcast listeners, where you can donate to Arizona Democrats to help again in that effort. And I do have to say that even though this is a frightening moment, not going to deny that, I'm optimistic. And I feel like I'm picking up on the fact, and there is some evidential proof of this with past elections and direct ballot initiatives in the wake of the overturning of Roe v. Wade, that Americans are going to come out strong on this issue, and that November is going to be a rude awakening for Republicans, and especially extreme MAGA Republicans. And if that happens, we could really be on a course towards major change. And that's an exciting element of this. So again, Arizona Democrats working hard to undo what's currently grabbing much of the focus of the country, which is this horrible law in Arizona. You can donate to them at the link in my description. And let me know what you thought of all that. My goodness, Kari Lake being violent in her rhetoric, getting slammed in that ad, and Trump as well. And then this important progress that could be made. All of it in the comments.